Top 10 matchup, Chris Cannon for Northwestern and Lucas Byrd, ranked 6th for the Fighting Illini. Both these guys only one loss, off to really good starts.
And like you said before, Shane, All-Americans as freshmen and sophomores here in this season. So see if these guys get anything going here in the beginning part of the match. The best thing that can happen in a match like this is somebody gets out there and just scores early and watch it go from there.
Lucas Byrd out of Ohio, LaSalle High School two-time state champion, originally committed to Maryland. With the coaching change, reopened up his recruiting and landed in Champaign. Had a connection with a coach that wrestled for the Illini.
You can see Lucas Byrd basically going out there in that 4-point stance here. These guys are really tight right now. Now a slide-by attempt there. Shot there by Byrd. He doesn't quite have it. Here you see the scramble. Squaring up his cannon. Notice how he's using those left shoelaces right there to kind of keep Byrd from advancing his position, but he's not able to do it. Now he sticks the head in the ribs right there and collects the two.
Two takedown there for Byrd, and this is where he is so good. Phenomenal in that top position. The mat returns. He's as good as anybody in the country. You see the pressure. Digging the toes in the Resolite. Good hard ride. Cannon trying to work up to a base.
Yeah, notice how when he reaches in there and see where Cannon is be able to pop up to, that's a nice job. Good work right there, because as you mentioned there, Byrd is tough in that top position. Likes to keep you down, so that's a good answering escape right there for Cannon.
These two wrestled twice last year. Byrd a 7-1 decision at the Big Ten tournaments and a 4-1 decision at the NCAA championships.
Yeah, right now, Byrd makes you very uncomfortable the way he stalks into you here, almost like you're an animal of prey in that situation where he's just slowly moving up into you with his hands and feet and in a good position to follow up a shot.
Working off an underhook.
Stay offensive, gentlemen.
Byrd 3-0 in Big Ten duels.
Nice job of stuffing the head there by Cannon. Oh, nice duck.
Yeah. Little change to a second takedown in the first period. Byrd really active.
Yeah, it really looked like that Cannon was almost half to 3/4 the way around. Now an elevator series right there. Two good quick escapes here.
No, and look at Byrd. Tosses him to his back.
No escape there given.
Now he sinks in an armbar. But a good job there by Byrd to maintain control. Looked like Cannon was destined to escape. Riding time now over a minute. And here with 25, looking for a tilt late.
Really hard pressure on top there by Byrd with that good deep tight waist covering the arm.
Cannon flat on his belly.
Keep improving, gentlemen.
And Lucas Byrd with 2 takedowns and a ride out with riding time 124. Great first period for the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, great action early by both guys here. That Cannon was trying to get out, hit the elevator series a little bit. So
we welcome those that just watched Purdue defeat Indiana 17-16. Good matchup there, thanks to Tim Johnson and J.D. Bergman. The Indiana in-state rivalry, and here we are, Illinois rivalry. First match here at 133 pounds. Byrd leading Cannon. A couple of takedowns for Byrd in the first period.
A couple of All-Americans in this weight class right now that finished 5th and 7th last year. But Byrd was able to jump out to a couple of first period takedowns and a ride out. And now Cannon in the down position to start the period was able to get a quick escape. So really been a fun match to this point.
Cannon comes in winning 5 straights. He was second at the Cliff Keenan Vegas. Didn't give up a takedown in his first 4 matches. Outscored his opponents 28-4 in that stretch. Fell to Michigan's Dylan Ragusin 9-5 in that final. It was 4-4. Ragusin a big flurry. So win that title in Vegas. But I love this weight class in the Big Ten. Last night we saw Roman Bravo Young and Austin DeSanto. Here we get Byrd and Cannon. Great weekend in the Big Ten.
Yeah, and you see the discipline that Byrd is wrestling with here. He's going to be problems for guys to be able to go ahead and get at his legs. He's just keeping in position. Now he goes ahead and shucks that by, but again, does a lot of stalking. You know, some people will get in that 4-point stance or 3-point stance, and they really don't do much. It's very defensive here. He follows it up with good shots and penetration and gets nice angles.
42nd second period. Byrd was third at the MSU Open. Lost there to Anthony Madrigal of Oklahoma, his only defeat. Illinois Matman Open champion. And on the legs once again, single leg.
He's got a single leg right there. He's got a pretty decent block, but look at how he's improving his position, trying to get a little bit better angle, trying to drop that elbow onto the mat, the right elbow onto the mat. Now he's in a scramble situation. Keeps his ankles clean. That's a good thing to do right there in that position. Keep your ankles clean. He rolls out, keeps his feet wide.
Cannon hanging on, final second, short time in the second.
Keep wrestling, keep wrestling.
Neutral. High.
Good defense from Cannon.
Let's take a look at those first two takedowns that Byrd was able to get in the first period here. That same single leg shot right there was able to go ahead and clasp up and get a little bit higher on the hips, and that's the first takedown, and this was pretty slick as well here. A go behind attempt there by Cannon was met by a duck under by Byrd. Well done.
Byrd goes on bottom.
Bump it, bump it, bump it.
Forward pressure.
Cannon wants to work that riding time below 1 minute.
Like that little front trip action that Cannon was able to do. Now they're in the wizard position. The reason why they're there is that he put his head on the mat, you know. He's able to go ahead and put that wizard in real quickly and square up and get the escape.
Another tally for Byrd, now up by 3. Still has that riding time over a minute.
It's really tough to get him out of that 4-point stance, and if you come at him too high, he's going to go ahead and just drive back in on that leg. That single leg he's been able to get to a couple times.
Multiple attacks, multiple, put multiple together.
Cannon with that 7th place finish. That is the highest finish in a redshirt campaign since Sebastian Rivera was 6th at the 2018 championships. Of course, Rivera now at Rutgers up at 141. 60 seconds here in the third.
Nice job by Byrd with that over collar tie here. Springing his legs back here and then coming all his weight right there on the top of the head. Bounced Cannon's head off the mat.
Get to the legs, get to the legs.
There's an ankle pick right there, back in on that single leg. He likes to live in that single leg right there. He's got the bottom leg hooked. He's trying to clear his head. He rolls him back onto both cheeks, and that gives the point. So now he's had an opportunity to go ahead and really extend the lead here right now. He's got a bow and arrow situation for a short period of time. And in a tight dual meet here, All-American against All-American, you get the feeling that Byrd's got to be really happy with this performance with the closing takedown.
Use your legs, spread them out.
Lucas Byrd continuing his winning ways here in front of the home fans. He'll get the riding time points, an 8-2 decision for Lucas Byrd of Illinois. The Battle of All-Americans.
For an 8-2 from Illinois, Lucas Byrd.
Our Defense Soap starting lineups brought to you by Defense Soap. Defend what you have built. We just saw that decision by Lucas Byrd. All-American Dylan Duncan coming up next for the Fighting Illini. Of course, you look at this, you see two sets of brothers in the Prodigal Twins of Illinois and the Davisons from Northwestern. We'll cap it off with the Augustino and Cardani. 141 pounds, Dylan Duncan, another guy that had a great tournament. He finished 5th in the country at the national tournaments. And Frankie Tal-Shahar for Northwestern. Here's the matchup at 141, Jim.
Yeah, really looking forward to watching Dylan Duncan get after it here. He's been out of the lineup here for a while, so this is a big moment for him to get out there and get the momentum going. Byrd did it with the All-American versus All-American matchup here. And at home, if you're going to try to beat a rival like this here, you got to keep that momentum and maybe look for bonus points.
We'll see Yahya Thomas at 149 for Northwestern, a 25 seed, as you spoke about earlier. Duncan was a 14 seed in a stacked 141-pound weight class.
Yeah, we saw that all last year. I mean, remember Patrick McKee was in the 15 seed at that 125 and ended up finishing third. You put yourself through this Big Ten schedule, this meat grinder here that these guys do. When you get to the national tournament, you're not intimidated by anything. It's just like you're ready, you're hardened, you're ready for those matches, and really your seed is not as important as the style of wrestling that you're engaging in at the end of the year.
Tal-Shahar from Delray Beach, Florida, wrestled at American Heritage, won a state title. He won the Ironman in 2019. Duncan, of course, been around a long time out of Winfield, Illinois. Wrestled at Montini Catholic. He's been a staple for the Fighting Illini. 2-on-1 from Duncan. These two have never wrestled before.
Duncan moving forward here. He's got the inside bicep tie with that left arm. Kind of came off of it, went back to it.
Wrestle through it. Wrestle through it.
You can see the official asking him to, both guys to work through that. Level change there by Duncan, but no forward pressure, no step, didn't step in the bucket. Tal-Shahar did a nice job keeping his own balance.
You see this quite a bit. Duncan, a good example of it, Jim. Last year at the Big Ten 7th, and then finishes higher at the national tournament. Makes sense of that.
Well,
the Big Ten.
It happens all the time. That is sense.
Exactly.
Hey, circle, change positions.
This conference so tough. We see it where guys are able to win national titles, but they can't win Big Ten titles.
Yeah, that's, conversely, but it's just so tough when you have that small difference in competition. Guys make the adjustments. There's Duncan in on a shot.
Head to the inside. Going to reach across to that far knee. Well done.
Yeah, really well done. You notice how he moved his body out to the front and then came back and finished with around the far thigh.
Up to your feet, Frankie.
Duncan, a two-time state champion for Montini Catholic in Lombard, Illinois. Been to the national tournament 4 times and cashed in, as I said, getting on the stand as an All-American. Arm bar, a lot of pressure, and a wrist.
Looking hard right there. He's got the arm tied on the left side the way he wants it, but I think he wants to try to create some action on that
yourself.
right side. Now he puts the leg in to break him down. We'll see what he does with this. He's able to go ahead and grab the wrist underneath, but you can see the left hand of Tal-Shahar is keeping that away, and that's why referee Jamie George basically calls the stalling on right there. Is that you've got to try to do more than just keep your hands away from your opponent.
Tight waist, still has that arm bar.
You see how he's gripping it. You could make a case that if you're stalling again when you're locking like that, but he moved off of it, Tal-Shahar did. So
a takedown, a ride out. Riding time over a minute. Stall call on the bottom man. Great work.
Yeah, there's a beautiful shot right here. Notice how he circles out in front here real quick, and then it's enough to get bait that back leg into coming in a little bit forward. You know who was really great with that? It was Mike Poeta, and that guy in the middle right there, national champion for Penn State, Jeremy Hunter, had one of the nicer single leg finishes back in his day.
Mike Poeta, 3-time All-American as an athlete, 2-time NCAA finalist, captured a pair of Big Ten crowns. Mentioned Jeremy Hunter, also on that corner. Ed Ruth, 3-time national champion for Penn State in his first year as an assistant. Might start seeing some more cradles with the Fighting Illini.
Legendary cradles.
Neutral here in the second period.
Wrestle through this. This isn't a stalemate.
Tal-Shahar is, presenting himself, doing a pretty good job of, hand fighting out there. Oh, big old club collar tie. Oh, that one came from left field.
There you see Mike Poeta, named head coach in April of 2021, replacing Jim Heffernan, longtime head coach of the Fighting Illini. Last night in Iowa City, we saw Coach Johnson.
Yep. Mark Johnson was at the Iowa-Penn State meet. Got a chance to stop by and talk to him. He's headed to Florida tomorrow, right? So, probably right after this meet.
50 seconds here in the second. Hard snap from Tal-Shahar.
Center.
Tal-Shahar battles each of his last 5 losses this season, 2 points or fewer, including 2 that went to overtime. He's young, needs to learn how to win those tight matches.
Yeah, he needs to go ahead and take a little bit of risk here when he finds himself in a position like this. And then he waited And Duncan came right back after him, but he's pretty good at scrambling right here. I like what Duncan does, is able to go ahead and lay him back right there into that position. Almost like a Grandy roll finish, okay, where you set him back, and now he's got a count. Got a 1 count working there.
Just stayed really patient there.
And we saw that last night in the match with the big Iowa-Penn State. Guys like Aaron Brooks, took their time on their finishes, slowly moved up. It's well done by Duncan.
Here's the second takedown for Duncan in this match.
Yeah, take a look at this. It keeps his ankles clean, right? And so he lays him back there and rolls back up, pins those hips to the mat, and slowly moves up, takes his opponent to his back.
You often refer to that as climbing the rope.
Climbing the rope, yeah. You can't let go of the rope, right, and still climb. Gravity's going to take over, but slowly move up and improve and gain position. Tal-Shahar with a nice little changeover right there.
Quick reversal, but right back in Duncan.
Yeah.
So we see 4 points in 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's going back to the highlight reel that we saw in the beginning with the match at 133. Both guys making a stand-up, turn-in, and diving right back in on the leg and collecting reversal.
Duncan with a leg in, cross-body. Plenty of riding time. Situation here for Illinois to chase down some bonus points.
Really is. Shane is working them physically. Tal-Shahar trying to, he struggled down there before, but it's not because he's not doing anything. He's just getting dominated right there with that high figure 4. When I say high, it's above the knee. Now he floats out of it.
Riding time over 2 minutes.
So
that is locked up.
Yeah, 8-2 score here. So really, you need to.
You got a stalling green, 1 red.
Well, 1 red. Green. So now you only need that escape takedown sequence. It's technically 8-2 or 7-2, 8-2 with the riding time.
He said green. That's top.
Final 40 seconds.
Red.
He's got the wing on the right side there.
So it's 9-2. Do you cut him here, Jim, or do you try to force a stall call?
No, I try to cut him.
Looking for a turn.
But what do I know? Bow and arrow situation right there. He's able to collect that ankle. He's got to go one more turn on that.
Tal-Shahar does a good job to get his hips up.
Saving his team a team point right now, staying out of a bonus situation. Good work by Tal-Shahar just to stay in there and battle. I like that.
He fought hard that final minute. Did not get turned. It was close. Dylan Duncan gets a decision 9-2. Duncan over the Wildcat Tal-Shahar here at 141. Great place. They're happy to be wrestling at State Farm Center. 149 pounds. We talked about the run Yahya Thomas had as a 25 seed to the All-American podium in St. Louis. And for Illinois, Christian Kanzler.
Keep the hands clean, gentlemen. Stay on top.
And Yahya Thomas, you see that number 11 ranking that he has right there. He hasn't really got off to a continuation start here with the momentum that he had in the national tournament. But, listen, coaches adjust. They go out there. They try to figure out why guys aren't getting the job done. And then the things with Yahya Thomas is that when he's getting out from underneath quickly and he can take advantage of his explosive ability like you see right there, just dropping in on a leg right there. And good quick finishes. He's hard to beat. He's a top 4 or 5, maybe 10. He's an All-American caliber wrestler. He already has proven that. But see that motion right there that he has.
Kanzler fighting hard.
Yes. Oh, right into the Turk position right there. Great finish. But you see the explosiveness that he has on the feet. And the only thing that can take that way in a match is if you can get on top of a guy like that and ride him for a while.
149, 5 of the top 11 in the country from the Big Ten. Sammy Sasso, highest ranked, number 2. There's an escape, 2-1.
Work in, gentlemen, not out. Neutral.
Yahya Thomas, grad students, wrestled at Mount Carmel for Alex Sertzis.
Right there, beautiful little high crotch, inside knee pull type attempt right there.
2 red, takedown.
Good finish, ran the pipe.
2 takedowns, Jim, in the first 90 seconds. That's how you get after it. I mean, your team needs you right here. You're down 6-0.
Yeah.
And now it's your turn. You got Yahya Thomas and Ryan Deakin. Now they got to make hay.
And he's got a far side cradle right there locked up. That's tight.
Yahya Thomas looking for the first period fall. It would tie this duel right up, and there it is. Yahya Thomas ties it at 6.
Boy, what a sequence there for Yahya Thomas. Just saw that knee close to the chin and was able to go ahead and grab that far side cradle, rolls him back, and that was tight. Let's take a look at this fall. You know, right after that takedown you talked about here, far side cradle, rolls him back, and that's tight. And what's beautiful about this is he got that grip close to the neck, right? Right there's how close he is to the neck. It's not at the crook of the knee. When you do that, you can really tighten a grip up right there, make it difficult for the guy. There's a big pin, and that's a big momentum swing.
And Storniolo loving that fall from Yahya Thomas. Ryan Deakin ranked number 2 in the country, the reigning Big Ten champion, undefeated at 7-0. And Joe Roberts for the Fighting Illini. Deakin out of Broomfield, Colorado, Legacy High School. State champion in 2014.
Hands, gentlemen.
And when it comes to complete wrestlers at all weight classes, Jim, Ryan Deakin's in the conversation.
He really is. You know, again, number 1 seed and one of those guys even in the COVID year, 2020, where they didn't have the national tournament. You knew he was having a good run. But he's taking his opponent right here to his back, Roberts, and that's tight. He's got the head up off the mat right there, which usually is a great sign for getting some fall, but
near fall.
Joe Roberts able to fight off his back, but 4 near fall, 6-0, just like that for Deakin.
Yeah, snapped and just went around and drove over a good solid half. I thought with the fact that he had that head about 6 inches off the mat, now he's working a near arm and a wing, and he's got the far wrist. Does he have enough real estate to get this thing one turned over? But trying to get his shoulder, maybe, yeah, shoulder behind the elbow there a little bit. Nope.
Deakin winning the Cliff Keen for the 3rd time in his career. Going to adjust at the edge.
Yeah, just didn't have the right amount of real estate left to go ahead and make a full turn on that. But, boy, one of the most physical-looking guys in any weight class is Ryan Deakin. We've mentioned that before in our telecast with Northwestern and certainly in the Big Ten tournament.
Caution red.
Caution, Northwestern.
Going to be a little pause.
You know, a guy that had disappointing finishes, particularly last year as the number 1 seed, but came back and got 3rd place. And when you can do that and have another opportunity at it like you do this year, it's a confidence builder. I mean, it's just, you know, sometimes you just have to go through it. Sometimes you have to go through that, you know, be that guy with the target on the back, be that number 1 seed. Kind of shocked everybody when he lost in the semis. Against Del Vecchio from Ryder.
But came back, wins 2 matches to take 3rd. He got the next best thing. Going with a little bit of a beard. Now he's going to run an armbar. This is not the place where Roberts wants to be.
Just roll him over right there. That's going to be tough to stop, right? So doing a nice job of keeping that left shoulder out, really flopping the legs around. Good hard bridge right there, but Deakin's right back on it, and they're going to call that potentially dangerous. I'm sure he got a 4 count.
2 4-point turns for Deakin. Well, anytime, Jim, I'm around this area, I get a lot of people that come up to me thinking I'm Ryan Deakin. But I wish. I wish.
Oh. Now you're going to tell the story about your daughters, right?
Hey, I'm just impressed. Northwestern, fantastic academically, great wrestler. I always made the joke, Jim, if I was Ryan Deakin in this cold weather off Lake Michigan, I wouldn't own a shirt, right?
Yeah.
You don't put together.
But you're Shane Sparks and you don't own a coat, right?
Just so impressive in all positions. Great mat returns. He just doesn't give anything away, ever.
Right back on that right wing. There. He takes it right back over. He's getting a count.
Looking for back-to-back pins. Northwestern. They got one from Thomas at 49. Deakin working for one here at 157. Going to readjust.
And folks, you just don't know how hard Joe Roberts is working down here, trying to keep every little bit of flexibility, not giving up. He's certainly fighting. If he can clear that right arm over Deakin's head, he's got a chance of staying out of this.
He's going to cinch this one up tight. 20 seconds, going to readjust again.
Wow. What effort. I don't think it's going to be enough.
inside of 10 seconds. Roberts trying to survive to see the second period.
Oh, what's flexibility and heart Roberts is showing right there, and he got through the period.
That was a great job from Roberts. Fought off his back 3 times. $14-0.
Illinois defers.
You can do something with a guy that'll fight off his back like that.
In a dual meet like this?
Yeah.
That's not easy. A lot of guys right there, it's just easier to give up the fall.
Yeah.
I'm impressed with Roberts' fight.
Hot man, cover.
Roberts out of Montini Catholic. Handful of Montini Catholic guys in the Big Ten.
Red, sorry.
Caution, Northwestern.
So you can hear that what they're talking about there. Take your time, take your time. Get the good lock right now on. You know, he's working for the fall right now. Deakin is in the top position. He's thinking nothing about just wants to get a pin. You can't give up an escape here because if you take him down,
then it's a tech fall.
Then it's a tech fall. The match stops. Okay, so you've got to work right here. The pressure is take your time, get the pinning combination that you want to get, and give us that extra team point.
Because you're going to get one chance at it.
Right. So inside wrist ride right there. He does a nice job of going ahead and threading the needle. That's what we call threading. He really wants to get his right hand through that elbow, crook of that elbow right there. He does it one more time.
Now Roberts, Jim, just got hit with stalling. If he gets hit again, the match is over.
Right.
You don't see that scenario play out too often because it punishes the top guy who's up by 14.
Yeah. Now he threads the needle right there. So he had that elbow up high like that. So he's going to try to, he's got good real estate to work with. They're right there in the center of the mat. He'll make one more attempt to take it across. And does Roberts have what it takes to fight this one more time? And good call by Jamie George there, because that was, you see a guy rolling forward like that over, that's a pretty good idea that it was probably.
There you see Matt Storniolo, 6th year as head coach at Northwestern. Spent time previous as an assistant coach. Successful at Oklahoma in that Sooner singlet. Good return here from Deakin, and he'll get back to work looking for that pinning combination. 42nd, second period.
And Storniolo had to be so pleased with that national tournament last year, taking his, it took him a while to build some depth in that program, and it's always going to be maybe a challenge at Northwestern to be able to provide that depth and maybe not have that balanced dual meet team, but he's got some tournament goers.
And the second stall call on Roberts, so it's a tech fall for Ryan Deakin.
You called it.
Your winner by tech fall at 157 from Northwestern, Ryan Deakin.
Here's his brother, Lucas Davison. At heavyweights, ranked 10th in the country, Luke Luffman for the Fighting Illini. He's ranked 16th in the country. And when we looked at the Defense Soap starting lineups, this was a match that stood out to me.
Yeah. Davison, again, up from 97. Luffman.
The week.
Shake hands.
And he faced Luffman at that tournament. He beat him 10-4. Davison 5th at the CKLV.
Good counter shot there by Luffman here on the inside part of the leg. So he's able to go ahead and get a little bit closer to make that trip work here. So far, Davison doing a pretty good job of staying on his feet. Not so fast.
Luffman did not mess around.
No, he didn't. He just went right back at it. Nice counter shot, good quickness.
Improve. One.
You like to see that here for aspiring big man here to get out quickly after he's given the escape. I'll tell you what, it's hard to believe that looking at Lucas Davison that he was a 97-pounder last year. He's really might have been cutting a lot of weight last year, but this is just he's going to fit into this weight class very nicely here in his career.
In 2020, Davison, honorable mention All-American at 197. Luffman, an early takedown, leads at 2-1, 150 here in the first. Luffman 7th at the Big Tens last March. Two-time NCAA qualifier is Luffman out of Urbana, Illinois. Three-time
Fingers,
state
stay out of
champion.
that grip, gentlemen. Let it go.
Couple
Stay out
state
of it.
titles at 220. Another at 285.
You're tied, love.
Giving up that collar tie, that right-hand collar tie right there that that Luffman has. So far, it's been a little bit of trouble there for Davison. He hasn't been able to get through it. He's accepting just an elbow tie to go along with it. Now is at the left-hand collar tie. So he's allowing his opponent to get, you know, to his head neck area too easily. You got to battle out of those positions. You know, post him up, get your feet moving, better angles. Right there, driving straight through. He went low with it here, but now Luffman is able to cut the corner right there. Good work, good flexibility. Davison's trying to tuck his head to the inside. And right now, you expect a little high leg over action here from Luffman. Can he go ahead and go high leg over, left leg over the right? And the referee stopped it.
Just going to ask you, best case scenario here for Davison's getting that stalemate.
No doubt. When he didn't have the technique there, he was able to bury his head up underneath that leg.
Half a minute remaining here in the first. Davison at the Big Tens at 197. Fifth place, back-to-back seasons.
Stay on top of that head.
Go, love.
Fingers,
Short
let him
time
go.
here in the first.
Push. Push. Short time, Luke. Let's get one. Right hand moving. Get that reaction. Move it.
Good period for
Fingers,
Luffman.
let him go.
You know, got the takedown, got out of the good scramble, hit below the knee shot right there. So
Good pressure. Heavy.
Northwestern, you're
Northwestern with choice.
Northwestern 1.
red takes down.
Northwestern chooses
There's
red
Andrew
corner.
Davison.
we're
I'm
getting
sure
the
they've had some good battles.
yeah,
Second
the
period,
living
gentlemen,
room.
no warnings.
move the furniture.
Bottom
Let's
man
go.
set.
Pray to
top
God when
man
mom and
covered.
dad get home, they don't notice that the table's moved off 3-4 inches. My mom could do that. She'd be gone. She'd notice the table was moved by an inch. Knew we were wrestling in the living room.
One.
Well, my mom put a wrestling mat in our living room,
Nice.
so we didn't really have those issues. It's great because you just hang out there, grab a pillow, it's nice and comfortable. Had a TV in the room, and we drill in it.
2-2 match.
First hand inside first. Left hand in. Back hand in. Get back to
Got a lot of watching brother shots here today with the Broncos. Oh,
Good deep attack, but the hips from Luffman.
he does have some heavy hips, boy. He just really likes to chest up there. Now, see if Luffman looks for the attack off of this. Comes right back and grabs the collar tie right there to go ahead, keep a little extra pressure on him.
Fingers, let him go. Get out of that grip.
More now than ever, Jim, hip defense. We've seen so much of it.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of it this weekend here where, you know,
1 minute
guys are,
remaining.
again, not giving up the low shots, and so you have to go through those
Fingers.
hips.
Fingers, let him go.
Or a guy gets to your legs and you drape over. Not seeing that anymore. It's just using your hips. It begins as defense and ultimately becomes offense.
That's right.
Don't let him hang.
40 seconds in a tie match here in the second period.
High stuff.
35. 25. Luke. Step to it. Hands moving. Hands straight moving. Luke. Get him off your head. Get him off your head. There you go. Snap. Inside control. Push.
Offense. Stay offensive, guys. Let's go. Fingers. Fingers, let him go.
Collar tie from Luffman.
Get to it. Yes. 15. 15.
You got a warning, Green.
Nice low shot.
Sorry,
Again,
Green.
nice job by Luffman to be able to get out of that position here. Notice how he kept his feet wide, but he swung around to the left-hand side right there. That's good action.
Like that flurry to close out the period.
Set.
Chest up and hips down on that counter.
Green, your choice. Green
There's
takes
Andrew
down.
Davison and his brother Lucas.
Third period, Green, you've been warned. Bottom
They
man
got a little bigger.
Yes, they did. Wrestling family. Their dad, Keith, there in the middle, was an All-American at Wisconsin.
Get out right away. Get out right away.
Was there in the early 90s. I'm thinking he wrestled for Andy Ryan, perhaps.
Yep, Andy would be at that time frame. Barry Davis as well, possibly.
I believe Barry was named official head coach in
Bottom man set.
94, I want to
Top
say.
man
93
covered.
or 94. He might have wrestled for both those guys. So Luffman on bottom here in a tie match.
Luffman coming up hard. And now a nice job by Davison in his top position. He's got that ankle across there. We've seen this position before. Not quite the same, but you know, you collapse a guy down like that, now you put the leg in. Great opportunity here for Davison to stay in the top position and break Luffman down. Luffman strong with that lower body, being able to come back up and get to that referee's position almost, but you got to try to keep your elbows in and your wrist out. See how that elbow is out a little bit, it's easy to collect the wrist.
Got his left leg in.
Riding time up to 35 seconds, and just when Luffman comes up, good hard ankle ride.
And able to ride him for the first minute here in the third.
Let's go back in. Green down.
Had that right foot inside the circle. Heavyweight in the Big Ten, of course, is loaded for the top 5. And here's Lucas Davison ranked 10th.
Well, what he's showing me is that he knows how to ride. It's important 13 seconds, and so even if he gives up the escape, he'll have the riding time. Good job of keeping. Now Luffman turns back in. Good front trip right there. Now he loads his hip up and almost to a side tilt. He is going to have over a minute of riding time at this point. Now, if he can keep him down the whole period, he wins the match.
Impressive top work here from Davison. Gave up the first takedown. He's had to battle back and looking to win this one on top.
Good job of hovering over there. This is like an old coach would do to you, you know, right there, just hovering up over the top, now spreading you a little bit out with that figure four above the thigh, or above the knee right there at the thigh level.
You don't see that too often.
Well, this is kind of what we saw what Max Dean was able to do to tie the match against Patrick
Brucky.
Yeah, so good sequence there. That's how you win tight matches.
Davison rides Luffman the entire third period. Both Bronicles victorious, both Davisons victorious. Augustino for the Wildcats, Justin Cardani for the Fighting Illini. These guys victories over Eric Burnett of Wisconsin and Patrick McKee of Minnesota. Both those guys ranked top 10 when D'Agostino beat them. D'Agostino, 2020, would have been the 8th seed. Was 21-8 that season, qualified for the tournament last March out of Palm Coast, Florida. These two 1-1 against each other. D'Agostino won a 2-1 decision in their most recent meeting.
Just quick, and both guys diving in on shots there. It's almost got to commit to just eating some Resolite for a while to be able to get on one of these guys.
Watching Cardani, he's able to get to the legs quite frequently. It's just finishing. Out of Centennial High School in Champaign, Illinois. Made the national tournament in 2020. First Champaign Centennial wrestler to win a state title. No score, 60 seconds in.
Good job.
Get to the tie that they want. It's interesting how they wrestle. They going from their knees to the tie. Okay, so they never want to let so they're down and low at the knees right here. Then they get to the tie that they want. Either a collar tie and then they usually come up to their feet, and if you come up too high with them, that's when they're going to drop in on a shot. Right, diving in shot right there. This again, Cardani willing to go ahead and eat the Resolite for a while.
Still scoreless halfway through the period.
Hey, Mike, he's got that weak lock on his chest. On his chest, kick that leg back, break that lock.
Set.
Keep firing shots. Let's go.
Gotta make him wrestle, Justin. He'll get tired.
Keep him on top, Green.
Shots, come on.
It's just a different way of going about this, isn't it? You're with all the wrestling on the knees.
There you go.
There.
You got a stalling on Green, backing.
Stalling on Cardani for backing up.
Set.
And DiAgostino's win against Patrick McKee had a big third period. Exciting match, knocking off the Gopher.
Yeah, they start low and get to the tie that they want and then come to their feet. Just an interesting approach. He's not conventional by any means, but you know, when they get something that they really want to have, that they just commit to it. You know, that's what you want to see. Tough matches to officiate.
Action.
Out of bounds again.
Neutral.
DiAgostino looking to become the third Wildcat at 125 to earn multiple All-American honors. Sebastian Rivera, 2018, 2019, and 3 times by Brandon Preeson. He was fantastic.
Yeah, he was. Easily right up there, top 25 pounders in his time.
Your tie? Your tie? Dig for your tie.
So strong. I mean, he's just incredible strength. There's a situation right there where he comes all the way across.
Snakes
but
the leg in.
Yeah, doesn't have enough real estate to work with that inside leg lace.
Neutral. Set.
We'll take a scoreless match to the second period.
No score after the first period.
Green to first, right?
Cardani with choice in the third.
Northwestern.
DiAgostino will go on bottom. DiAgostino's father, Steve, wrestled at Maryland.
Second
Maryland,
period, gentlemen. Green, you've
one
been
of the
warned.
final choices
Bottom man set.
for
Top man,
DiAgostino.
cover.
Maryland, Purdue, App State, Kent State ultimately chose Northwestern. Tight waist from Cardani.
Nice job. He's got the 2-on-1 over there. Let's see if he can do anything with it. Try to bring him back on the mat here to work that tilt from the feet. That was an opportunity here for Cardani with the 2-on-1 wrist ride there to be able to go ahead and take him down, but DiAgostino was able to keep his feet.
Bumping him forward off the whistle.
Bottom man set. Top man, cover. That was me. That was me.
Illinois had won 9 of the previous 10 duels against Northwestern.
Well, Coach Sorniola was really confident that, you know, coming in here with a full, healthy lineup here, that he would have some success, and that's been the case here.
DiAgostino grabbing the right ankle.
Yeah, on the roll-through attempt right there, but, you know, it's one of those things where if he would have let go of it, he would have got the escape, and now that Cardani has cut the corner on him here, he's in charge of it there with that left foot basically still in.
And he's building his riding time.
Yeah, but the right arm coming across there. Yeah, now they're going to go off.
Break.
Yeah,
Right down.
kind of a little bit of a time waste right there.
Regain.
Northwestern's most recent victory in a duel held in Champaign, February 16th, 1989.
Guys, slow down the start. There's going to be a pause. Slow down that start, all right?
Northwestern
Bottom
getting
man
its
set.
first
Top man,
Big
cover.
Ten dual meet victory this afternoon here in Champaign. Fighting Illini will fall to 0-4.
Hand fighting there by DiAgostino, and he's able to go ahead and cover the fingers and jump out of that thing, and it ends up only giving up 53 seconds of riding time. So
Back to your tie. He's gonna try and sting you.
DiAgostino with the escape, leading at 1-0. DiAgostino and Cardani on the knees.
Stay strong.
Both 2 hands on the mat.
yeah, it's just I'm not used to it. You know, you don't see this quite often, but you know, you see what they're doing is they're just trying to stay low. They don't want anybody to go underneath them, and when they get a tie that they want, then they get to their feet.
Get to it. Pick up your footwork. Pick up your hand fight.
There's a snap from Cardani, and again gets to that single leg, but he's underneath the hips.
Hey, Davey.
Yeah, that's really hard on guys' shoulders too. You know, you take a look at all the people that have shoulder issues and injuries, and they get stuck underneath there, and they just can't really. You know, you're holding on, and you really take your joints are really taking a beating.
Cardani, those straight-on shots, he gets to a leg, but he's got to get an angle. There's a warning on DiAugustino.
Keep wrestling, Justin!
That's got to be awful tiring underneath.
Yeah, it is. And so now DiAugustino has a little angle right there with that arm drag, but you know, Cardani did a good job of keeping on his feet and squaring up.
Northwestern 1, Illinois 0 after 2. Illinois chooses neutral.
So Illinois chooses neutral. Cardani
All right, guys,
does
both
not want to
been
go
warned.
underneath,
Both been warned here.
but he'll have to find a way to finish a takedown. Again, DiAugustino's been hit with stalling once.
Yeah. So how important was it that last 7 seconds of riding time there? He could have captured and made this a tie match at that point, but these guys just look so tight. You know, you just can't.
DiAugustino from his knees likes to go collar tie on that right side.
And now he leaps into the tie that he wants, and let's see, he comes back up to his feet. Now he tries to follow it up with the underhook, and now with that action right there, Cardani's able to get up. He's able to go ahead and keep his ankles clean, but that right ankle is tied up pretty decently, elbow deep by DiAugustino, and now we're able to stalemate.
Saw that one coming on the right knee. That time, though, Jim, Cardani at least had an angle.
Yeah.
Hey, shoot or shoot, buddy! Hey,
Set.
Justin, keep shooting!
Both guys back down to the knees.
Justin!
60 seconds left in regulation.
Let one go, Mike! Let one go!
Crossbody pick!
DiAugustino still being aggressive there with that lead. I like seeing that, right? So just goes ahead and
Keep him in! Keep him in!
1-0 lead, still taking territory, still trying to get on his offense. There hasn't been much offense in this thing, but it's just...
Hey, you gotta fire shots off! Let's go!
Cardani this season has a 1-0 loss to Devin Schroeder of Purdue.
Set.
Quick shot off the whistle.
Went to the other leg, Shane. Now he can crack this down. We'll see if he can go ahead and threaten DiAugustino to do his back, but he's settled back pretty nicely right there. Now he's figured forward the head and the arm here, squared up nicely. Now a switch off to a double.
See the flexibility from
Wow.
DiAugustino.
Wow.
15 seconds. Cardani driving, head to the outside, and he's got the takedown. No takedown.
The whizzer in there.
Defense from DiAugustino, and he is going